Okay. I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't excited. Now, of course, yes, yes, I say it all the time. We have these incredible women in our community, and it's all true. But this one's a little extra special. And while my husband doesn't play favorites, I do a little bit. I remember, golly, it was probably 2 years ago, and I had the opportunity to meet this incredible woman. And you know how sometimes when you're in a room filled with really smart, incredible people, there's one or two that just stands out? Well, for me, that was Ellen, our featured flyer today, the Ellen Nastir of Innovative Team Solutions. She just radiated this warmth that I just wanted to know her and more about her. And so now I'm going to share some of that warmth with you. Ellen, welcome to the See Her Soar stage once again. So happy to have you here.
Thank you, Becca. That was very sweet.
And very honest. I've told you that offline as well. Now, I can't, as much as a fan of yours as I am, I can't articulate the great work that you've been doing as well as you can. Would you be so kind as to sort of frame exactly what you've been doing and why you do it?
I'm happy to. The easiest way for me to do it is using some of the words that my clients have kind of coined for me over the years, which is someone started off by saying I was their drama eliminator. And I was like, no. I don't think you can eliminate drama in the workplace or in our lives. It's how can we reduce it? So I think I'm more of a drama disruptor, teaching different communication skills and ways that people can really be authentic in themselves and feel really competent and confident in who they are and what they contribute in not only the workplace, but also in all the other facets of their life, because we don't just live and work in silos, as you well know. We bring everything into the workplace, and it's how can I be able to concentrate, giving my full attention where I need to when there's all these little things going on in the background for me. So I think my whole life has been preparing me for this type of work, and I've been doing it for about the last 15 years or so. Working in smaller offices, I work with a lot of nonprofits. Love my nonprofits for their different missions, and just a lot of different variety of different places. So
well, and nurturing a culture and helping with people's understanding of self, career, giving them confidence, and also creating a cohesive environment or more cohesive environment. That's an investment that you will get back tenfold.
Absolutely.
Which is why it's so important that companies, I know people get scared because they're like, well, sometimes they see extras. Frankly, they're not extras because there's nothing more expensive than trying to replace your employee.
100%. And especially in this day and age, what's really significant is with COVID and people starting to come back, figuring out how they're going to start coming back into the office. So I've gotten many phone calls just recently about doing work in bringing the employees and your team members back in, and what's it going to look like? How do they kind of revamp together and design their alliance and how they're going to work now that they're back in? And are some of them going to be part-time commuting in, working from home? Is it going to be a hybrid? What's that going to look like? So
that's incredibly salient. And again, I hadn't even really thought about that, but I don't have the same expertise you do, is how important right now, what a window companies and nonprofits have, because as, knock on wood, the world begins to open up and things continue to go on a positive trajectory. If we want to have a robust economic recovery, these are the kinds of things that will get us there. So basically Absolutely. What I'm saying is Ellen's going to save you a lot of money in the long run. So you should call her immediately because she's very popular and we'll get booked up. Now, one of the things, there's a lot of things that I love, but Your logo is a kaleidoscope. Can you share with us why?
The kaleidoscope, yeah. I usually have one somewhere around on my desk, but I don't right now. The kaleidoscope has become my mantra, and it actually came from, I don't know if I ever shared this. It's from actually The Lion King. It's from the movie The Lion King, and I was waiting in line to pick up my kids at camp, and it was what, 28, 29 years ago, whatever, a long time ago. And we heard that song, Can You Feel the Love Tonight, so many times by Elton John, and just this one day waiting in carpool line, I just heard the one stanza, and it was, there is a time for everyone if we only learn that the twist in the kaleidoscope moves us all in turn. And it just enveloped me. And it was in that moment that I realized that it's not everything in our life that has to shift and change, because I was going through a major change at that time of a divorce. And it was just that part of imagining just one small shift, the whole picture changes. So the design changes, the colors change. And I really bring that into my work, because if people, I feel like I've done my best if I can impart that they've had one shift in their kaleidoscope. It doesn't mean that everything changes, but it's one action step, it's one something, that it's just that one little piece. And people really tend to get that. They really like the idea.
No, I love it. And I think it's so true. And I love the origin story because so many moments, you know, and I'm sure you talk to folks about this all the time, our inner voice catches those moments. And if we're wise enough, as you were, we envelop them and dig down and find out why it resonated with us. And we
Yeah.
can create something beautiful. And so I think that makes perfect sense. Um,
Yeah.
Now, if I may ask, as we are hopefully we're 12 months into the pandemic, what have you, obviously that has changed business models and the way people operate, but what have you been doing? And I'm going to use the term downtime, which I don't think has really existed, because frankly, I've worked more throughout the last 12 months than probably the 12 months before that. But we'll just play along with current vernacular. What did you do during your pandemic downtime to kind of help grow your acumen or your business, or how did it make you think differently about your work?
I will tell you that when COVID first, when it started, I've worked from home at that point. I think it's almost 30 years. So in talking with someone, one of my nonprofit centers, it was using that expertise of just, not even expertise, it was just my own experience of working from home. And we put together a webinar. It was their first webinar. It was actually through the Nonprofit Leadership Center in Tampa. And I had never done one. So we just kind of said, hey, let's do it. And the relaxation that I felt, because everyone basically was new to Zoom at that point, and that opened up a whole opportunity for me that I think I would have been more hesitant thinking about getting into the virtual world. And I actually ended up being certified as a virtual facilitator, because I would love to be able to take my programming and do it more virtually, which has happened over the past year, working with different companies and teams in other locations. The other thing that was very exciting was I took classes and I became the 25th person globally to be certified for positive intelligence. And that work has just resonated with so many people that I either am talking to now that I'm, well, it's been the past 5 months that I really started bringing people into the fold and having them in the program. But the individuals that have taken it, I worked with one team so far. They just finished about 2 weeks ago. And that was really cool to see an executive leadership team going through the program at the same time. But the positive intelligence work is, it is really life-changing. And my clients have said that. And so I can tell you a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
kind of just talking about it without
I
really.
mean, it seems perfect for you because you're one of the most positive and warm people I've ever met, and incredibly bright. So it you know, it seems very on brand. But if if you could break it down for average bears like myself, that would be great.
Far from average. Um, so, you go to the gym, you do whatever you go to the gym to work on your muscles. I know, me too.
We can hypothesize that that's true, but go ahead.
You know that you need to be doing your strength training for your core, for your arms, your legs, all of that. This is really going to the gym for your mental fitness. So we think physical fitness, but this is really mental fitness. And when I have shared for the last 15 years, I used to call it a gremlin voice, that little negative voice in your head, that negative Nelly, all the things that we ruminate, the woulda, shoulda, couldas. I mean, I can't tell you how many classes that I have taught or teams that I've worked with that people are just sitting there nodding. They know everybody has it. It's just how large is it running your life? So we ruminate, we think about something, we make up stories, we make assumptions based on someone walking by us. And back when everyone was in the office, when somebody would walk by you in the hall and not say hello, and you think, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have said what I said in the meeting yesterday, all those little things. And it's the negative part, right? It wakes you up in the morning at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. So positive intelligence is really getting mentally fit. They've done research with over 500,000 CEOs, athletes, like huge numbers. Stanford University has been really involved with it. And it really is, how do you shift your thinking to be able to identify what's going on in your mind, labeled as a saboteur, which I also use gremlin or whatever. But the whole idea is it sabotages our well-being. It sabotages our perception of who we are or what we're capable of. That whole part. And how do you start to be able to shift it? So it's not Pollyanna, it's not rose-colored glasses, but it really is getting you to stop. Because when you think about your thoughts, most of the time, it falls in one of three categories. We're judging ourselves, which we tend to do most harshly. We judge others, and we judge our circumstances. We judge what's around us. And how do you then stop that to be able to then go into your other part of your brain and be able to then look for what's the opportunity here? What's the gift? Things may not be exactly as I want them to be. Let me calm myself down. And then how can I look at this different? How can I get that kaleidoscope? How can I shift the perspective? And the evaluations, the conversations that I'm having with people who are doing this work, it's tremendous. It's just really tremendous. And it's the synthesis of latest breakthroughs through neuroscience, cognitive and positive psychology, and also performance science. So it's really research-based. And I was certified, I don't even know, 5-6 years ago in positive psychology, which is really the science of well-being. So it's just married everything together for me, and I love it.
Well, I think that's so, I mean, obviously it's on point and it's timely, but it's also really critical that just like we're asking people and businesses and nonprofits to invest in giving these hard and soft skills to their teams, you're constantly doing that. And I think that's one of the reasons why people keep saying we need more Ellen, is because Ellen's always got something fresh, and you're constantly, you are as driven to create and to provide value more than anyone, and you take such pride and passion in your work that it's not commonplace. It's above and beyond. And so
Oh,
I
thank
think
you.
that is I'm not surprised that you continue to use best practices and continue to use research-based uh, modalities. But I will say, as somebody who has lectured before 2 million people, you can be as licensed and certified as possible, but if you're not good at conveying it, it doesn't matter. And what I can tell you is that Ellen can present, and I am a presentation snob. I think most people are average at best, and I would endorse her. So if you'll take my ego and her experience, it's a winning combination. Now,
Yeah.
everybody talking about what they're binging. What's been your favorite pandemic binge watch?
My favorite pandemic is I have a 6-month-old grandson. So I am getting to why my husband laughs because I constantly he'll go, "Are you watching that video again?" And I just keep hitting play, 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 and he just it's just deliciousness. I just I've always loved babies, but now watching my son and his wife as parents, there is no you hear about it, but until you experience, there's nothing better. So I will look at pictures and I will look at every single video and hear him, trying to babble and talk and, you know, it's a lot of fun.
Well, I guess he was another part of the pandemic bonus is you got this baby.
Absolutely, absolutely. It was a little different than what we expected, but
Uh,
I did get to see him. I think I saw him the first time when he was 5 weeks old, and then I saw him one other time. So I'm heading out soon to see him and hold him. And but it is cute
oh,
because he recognizes me now. So on
oh,
FaceTime, I'll come on the screen, like my son will have it set up and then he's there and then all of a sudden I'll answer and he just breaks out into this smile. It's like there's nothing like it. So,
that is
yeah.
awesome. And as somebody who, my husband and I talk a lot about how fortunate we are that all of our children's grandparents are basically in this area. 45 minutes away for his parents, but they come to
Huge.
like every game, and my dad is like 12 minutes away. So it is such a gift. And so you're excited to go, but I can tell you the parents are more excited to see you because they're so tired.
They are, I know.
No matter how good you are, no matter, I don't like people saying good babies, bad babies, no matter how it's going, you're still freaking exhausted. And I joke that I don't know how my first child learned how to walk because I was scared to put him down because I couldn't let him cry. Um, All right, I have been gobbling up your attention, and people really need to, again, I'm going to put your website underneath here, but
Thank you.
y'all really need to follow up with Ellen and start a conversation to find out how she can improve your workplace, your interpersonal skills, invest in yourself, invest in your business, and make sure that 2021 is one of your most successful years financially. And as we say goodbye, we'll drop one little bit more of knowledge because this is a long lost art form in most every community. But you shared something with me that most people would be surprised to know. What is that?
That back in the early 80s, I started Tampa's first bagel shop. I had a friend that we had the idea, we were trained for baking bagels, and then her family got involved a little bit, and it was 4 women-owned bagel shop.
That's awesome. And I bet they
So
were real bagels, not this round bread shenanigans we got going around now. Although, as I told you selfishly, I'm glad the bagels aren't as good as they used to be because as someone who's allergic to gluten, that was a real hard one to get let go of.
to
So,
get, yeah, I can imagine.
um, again, thank you, thank you, thank you, Ellen. Thank you for sharing your light with the world. And I look forward to becoming more positively intelligent. And I mean, get this, you could be with the top, like for those businesses that like to be on the forefront, this is where it's at. So don't be late to the party. Get in touch with Ellen soon. You won't regret it.
Thanks, Becca. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.